If your house was burning down, would you take the time to grab this stamp? Probably not. Oh my gosh. Give me a minute. It's not you, it's me. You're wonderful. It's just not working out for us anymore.
Welcome to my channel, Crafty Concepts with Erin. I'm Erin, and I'm here with all of my friends at the creative design team this week, and we are talking about all things organization. It's a new year. Many of us make those resolutions where we think, yes, this is my year. I'm magically going to get organized. Everything's going to be better. We tackle it all at once, and then we tend to just make a giant mess, move stuff around, and we are often left with a cluttered chaos. We just shut that door and walk away. Organizing your craft room can be very rewarding, but we can make mistakes along the way. I know I certainly have. So today I'm going to share some of those mistakes with you, so hopefully you can avoid them and achieve a craft room peace. Mistake number one, trying to do everything at once. Many of us do not have an entire day or an entire weekend dedicated to tackling our space. Plus, when we do that, it tends to cause a lot of decision fatigue and overwhelm, and it's better, in my opinion, to do things in small, manageable chunks. Maybe today we're just focusing on organizing our stamp collection, or maybe our metal dies, maybe something even smaller like your blending brush. Keeping it to something manageable that you can accomplish in 30 minutes or less, and you are going to make a lot of progress just tackling one area at a time. Now, mistake number two is definitely not a popular one, but we often will organize before decluttering. We hang on to those things that we are no longer using, they're no longer serving us for one reason or another, and we tend to think that if we could just get organized, all of our things will magically fit. But in reality, and to quote Cass from the Clutter Bug, organizing does not create space, decluttering does. Letting go of our beloved supplies is hard. Nobody likes to do the purge. And by all means, if you have the space, then keep those supplies. But many of us run out of space, so saying goodbye to unused items is something that we are going to have to do eventually. So rather than focusing on micro categories, we're not going to worry about that yet. We're going to do a basic sort, and it's either going to be a pile that you keep or something that you are giving away. Now, giving away means it's just leaving your house. Perhaps you're going to put these into a box and have an online sale on Facebook, or maybe a yard sale. You're going to donate them to a senior center or school, or maybe gift them to a friend who's in a different stage in her crafting than you are. A lot of us will buy, different seasonal items, like maybe you are working on your wedding album and 20 years later you have finally finished it. No, not me. I haven't finished mine, but maybe you have. We probably don't need those wedding stamps any longer. So maybe keep one or two of your favorites for making cards, and then you can gift the rest to someone who is working on their wedding album. Baby stamps is another one. My kids are grown young adults now, so I have pretty much scrapbooked most of their childhood baby type photos. So those are stamps that I have, parted with over the years. Eventually, you can sort that keep pile into micro categories, but again, we're not there yet. These are baby steps. Mistake number three is stop buying organizing solutions without considering the space or the supplies you are organizing. Many of us fall victim to those beautiful, brightly colored containers, and we think it's going to solve all of our problems, but we need to think about what are we going to put in those containers, and then will those containers fit in our room and the space that we have to work with. This mint color matches my craft room perfectly.
You said you don't have any shelf space.
You're no fun. Many of us make the mistake of not accounting for future craft supplies. You do want some flexibility in your organizing solutions to accommodate growth in your crafty stash. If you are choosing bins to organize your stamps, make sure that you are going to be able to get more of those bins down the line. You want to avoid seasonal trendy items and colors that are going to be gone after the spring selection clears out. So maybe that works for your stamp collection right now, but as it grows, you go back to get more and you are out of luck, and then you have to buy a whole new set of bins if you want them to match. Now, one caveat I want to, just kind of throw in here is it's really not about what it looks like or spending a ton of money. It needs to be first and foremost very functional and something that works for you. So if you want to repurpose old shoe boxes to store your stamps in, that's completely fine. And as long as it's fitting your space and organizing your supplies, that is the goal. goal. And then eventually, if you want to upgrade to something more aesthetically pleasing, then that is something you can consider down the line. Now, I have shared these bins before on my channel during my craft room tour, but these are from Lowe's. They are fabric bins and they are part of their closet organizing selection. And so they've been around for years. I've been able to get more every time I need them. But what I love about these is there's no lid. So that reduces friction. You guys, that is very important when you are trying to stay organized. The easier something is to put away and the easier it is to access, you are more likely to use it and then put it away and keep clean. So again, no lids. I don't have to pull this all the way out to remove a lid. I can just kind of thumb through here, find the particular font. You can see this is alphabet fonts and numbers that I'm looking for, and then use that to create my project. So I do have these in micro categories, but we won't go into that for now. I do have, 95% of my stamp collection is close to my heart. I do have a few from other companies, but you can buy these envelopes. So I'll put them in the same envelopes so everything is nice and organized. I store my metal dies, or a lot of my metal dies, in these clear acrylic bins. Now these are a great option because they come in a variety of sizes and you can find them everywhere. You can order them on Amazon. You can get them at Walmart, like the refrigerator bins, home stores. So again, a great option. And plus you can see what it is that you're looking at, which is nice when you are storing your craft supplies. So I've made these dividers and labeled them with my label maker. And that way I can just kind of thumb through here and find the particular dies I'm looking for. And I do have some dies on a magnet wall that I use most often, but this is a great little bin and it was just the right size, the width and height to keep my dies nice and tidy. Mistake number 4 is ignoring your workflow. Don't put your most commonly used tools and materials in hard to reach locations. We only have so much organizing space, so you want to dedicate those and prioritize those spaces for your most commonly used tools and supplies. For me, this is going to be my acrylic blocks for stamping, my micro tip scissors, my paper piercer, those things that I reach for, my adhesive every single time I craft. I mentioned having a metal die magnet board for my most used dies. They're right there by my die cutting machine. And again, the goal is to reduce friction, make the most and prioritize those organizing spaces for your most used items. Mistake number 5, stop stuff shuffling. This kind of goes back to the decluttering. We tend to make piles, or I know I do. As I craft, I have leftover bits and pieces that kind of accumulate in piles, and they will end up on my stairs and in little bins, and that is a no-no because they just pile up, and that is not helping us to achieve that craft room piece that we also desperately want. Here is an example of how I am guilty of stuff shuffling and creating little piles just to, let it pile up for another day. So what these are bits and pieces from collections that I've been recently creating with. So in here I've got bits and pieces from Christmas cards. There's sprigs and pine cones and pine trees. I've got some ornaments in here and I'm done playing with these right now. Not that's upcoming video there, but I basically just piled them all in here, and same thing, I've got another little pile. I'm organizing them into micro categories, right? I've got my those were Christmas supplies, and then these are new products, but I only have like 6 of these bins, and then all of a sudden all 6 of them will be filled up, and I need to address this problem. So I've got a couple different options for how I store leftover embellishments, and let me share those with you. One method that's been working well for me is to take all of those little bits and pieces and store them in the stamp envelope that they came from. So I've got all of these gorgeous little sprigs and pine cones from the Evergreen collection here. So what I can do is just open up this little envelope here and put them down in the envelope. And that way, when I pull this out to create, they are already in there and ready to go. But another thing I've just recently started doing, thanks to my friends Janice and Jama from the creative design team, is storing them in a binder. When everything has a home, it is much easier to stay organized because you have a place to put it. So this is just a 3-ring binder I ordered on Amazon, and these are those good old-fashioned sticky sheets that I need that one I ripped. I got a little aggressive there. But they're for, remember old school photo albums? Well, these are safe now. They're acid free, so you can still buy these, but safe for photos. But I'm using them for embellishments. So I had to let go of Pinterest expectations when putting this together because I wanted it in rainbow order and I wanted everything to be in a theme, and I kind of had that. But as more things come up, you know, maybe there's no room on that page and I have to move them to another category. So you can see here I was using all of my kind of craft and wood grain, and then I moved to black embellishments and tried to do it that way. So, you know, and then I've got flowers and butterflies and just random shapes. So there is some organization, but as I stated, when you go to put more in, you may not have room. So you can keep adding pages. Look at all these hearts. You guys, I have so much stuff, and these were all sitting in bags and I wasn't using them. So now I flip through here regularly, and it's really helping me use up all of these bits and pieces. So here's some titles. I kind of tried to put titles together and little bits and pieces like that. And I've already been making a good dent in these type of embellishments that have been sitting here for so long. Now I can just peel this back and then add in these little bits and pieces. So you don't want to overload it because you want to have some space in between your embellishments where the plastic can stick, and that way those things don't move around in there. So you can see I've got these spaced out, and that is why. If you put them all, you know, too close together, there'll be no contact with the sticky background. So now I can just put all of these bits and pieces in here. I've got different pine cones of different sizes. These I made with Cricut print and cut, so they can all just kind of go in here, and then I can use these for different projects. They'll be perfect for Christmas cards, and they are also great for outdoor type layouts, hiking, anything camping like that where you might have pine tree elements. So yeah, I'm just going to put all these in here, and then you know, they will no longer be taking up all of my space in my little bins here, and I'm very excited about this system. Now these are all paper. The paper works perfectly. When you get into your thicker shapes here, like a paperboard, like these are paperboard. Paperboard is thicker than cardstock, but thinner than chipboard. Those you really need a lot of space because they can kind of walk around. You know, they're a little bit thicker, and these, you know, you need plenty of space for the stickiness to have around each individual item, or else those will kind of move around. Or if you store your binder upright, they can kind of shift down to the bottom. So I have been storing this flat, but so far it's working for me, and it was very inexpensive to purchase this binder and these pages. So I'm kind of excited, and like I said, it's already been helping me use my bits and pieces more. So you can see we're going to go from this pile to nice organized ephemera that we can use on our projects.
Let me know what your biggest craft room organizing struggle is. And don't forget to tune back in each day this week because all of my friends at the Creative Design Team have great organizing ideas for you. And you never know, it might just be the perfect solution for your crafty space. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Here's the Creative Design Team playlist to make it easy to find all of those awesome videos. All right, thanks guys. And I will see you very soon here on YouTube.